baby. Baby, I'm a dog, beware, I do whatever, however I want. This one for y'all, oh yeah, oh yeah. Now put your hands in the air, whip your hair and go la.
Hey guys, Brian here today. I knew I promised this video would be out earlier than like this evening. It's actually the March 8th right now at 11:40 at night. I gotta go to school tomorrow, and I had some serious issues going on with Vegas. I updated the firmware on my HD PVR, and I used the .m2 or I used the M2TS, which is MPEG-2 transfer stream or something like that. I know I knew it at once, but I don't know it right now. But anyways, it caused serious problems with Vegas because Sony Vegas couldn't read the file correctly. So every time I try to do anything, like I'd click on it, try to load it or load the clip into Vegas, it'd freeze for a minute, and then I just kept having problems. Like I'd go to record and it would freeze, and I actually got it to record once, and then I clicked stop so I could, make sure everything was right, go over everything, and then re-render it, and then it would freeze, and it was such hell, dude. But I am not gonna sit here and take that. I just got my microphone. It's a $100 microphone. I've spent about $400 in total buying, not including Vegas, buying programs and devices and stuff, so I can make these high quality videos for you guys, keep you guys entertained. And I don't know, I've got that stubbornness in me. I had to make this video. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I wasn't gonna let some little thing ruin it. So I actually used this program that came with my HD PVR. It's called Total Media Extreme. That's what I use to record from the PVR to save it to my computer and blah 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 blah. And it actually comes with a file converter, so I converted it over to Windows Media Video 11, and I'm using that right now. So I actually downgraded the firmware, or at least I think I did. I also contacted Havage to see if they had any ways of downgrading. I don't know if it worked or not. I'll have to try that out tomorrow. But like I said, let's just move on. In this commentary, I'm actually going to be covering depression and stress. These are both things that teenagers like us all go through. It's part of growing up, and it's part of your life. There are times where you're going to be depressed, and times where you're just going to be stressed to the point where you don't know what the hell to do with yourself. So this is something that I've had experience with, that I felt that you guys maybe would be more interested in, maybe something that would help a lot of you guys out. And if you have any questions that I maybe don't cover in this, or you ever need someone to talk to about depression, or if you're depressed or something, just go ahead and hit me up, inbox me or something. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it, because like I said, I've got experience. Everybody goes through this stuff. But depression is what it is when you're feeling really down and you don't have an attention, or you can't get focused on anything. You're constantly thinking about something, and something's bothering you, or something traumatic has happened, like maybe a family member died, or you're having problems at school, or problems with your friends, or something like that. We all have those days. So if you're ever feeling down, okay, so here's what happened with me. Here's my story. In the 8th grade, I had this girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was, to me, she was the perfect girl out there. She was gorgeous. She had a rockin' body. She had the booty and the breasts and the face and the hair. And everything about her to me was perfect. She was gorgeous. She was also really intelligent. She maintained A's and B's all the time. In fact, and there were times I know that she struggled. And 8th grade is a tough year because you're getting ready to transfer into high school, at least in our state. So, and she was also really, really sweet. And she was dating this guy for about a year and a half, and they broke up. And so, this is all before I knew about it. There was this night after they'd broken up about 3 weeks ago. There was this night, it was a Friday night, and I got a text from my friend saying, hey, this girl, and he said her name. I'm like, yeah, and she's like, I know you like her, right? And I'm like, yeah, I think she's amazing. And he's like, well, hey, I got some news for you, and then I get a text from her, started talking to me. I was like, hey, what's up? And then this conversation, and it all leads to her actually asking me out. It was great. I was so happy. I was ecstatic. I was sitting here playing Xbox, texting the girl of my dreams, if per se, and everything was going great. And we dated for about a week and a half, and then she broke up with me that night. It was like about a week and a half later, and I found out the next day why. And this, again, no names are gonna be mentioned or nothing. But she had actually asked me out because she wanted to get back at her boyfriend. Not get back, but make him jealous enough so he would come back to her. And he never did either, which is the really sad part. But I was heartbroken, I mean, it's one thing to break up with the guy just because, maybe things aren't working out and stuff. And things were going great. But to find out that it was to make an ex jealous, that's something that is just hard stuff, man. But I got so depressed so fast. I had no motivation to do well in school. I started actually getting really sick, like my immune system quit. I don't know how to explain it, but I was getting sick. Like, I even ended up with mono. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but yeah, go ahead and look it up. It's really nasty stuff. And I was sick for 2 weeks, and everything was just not going well. I'd come home and sleep, and when people get depressed, they start doing things like popping pills and smoking cigarettes and drinking and doing all these other really nasty things that all they do is create problems for the rest of your life. So, I mean, I never got that far, but I was depressed for about 3 months straight. I was showing up late to school, like almost 45 minutes all the time, missing my first period, all that stuff. I mean, it was just not a pretty sight. So eventually I got over it, and what I did actually is I started, listening to music, not stuff that just makes you sad, and that kind of music, those music that brings you down or you listen to when you're not in a good place. I listened to the music I liked. I got into music. I went outside and I took my dog for a walk, and I went and hung out with friends during the day. And I stayed over at people's houses, and what that does really, in a sense, is it helps you take your mind off things that aren't going right, So, the key thing to helping with depression is just get out and do something, Don't sit around and be all sad and depressed, because it's just gonna make everything worse. What you really gotta do is you just gotta move on. And I know you're probably thinking that she's just blowing smoke up your guys' ass. It's not true. I've been there, and you can believe what you want. And like I said, you can always hit me up if you need any help, or not really counseling, but just need someone to talk to, or get some advice or something. But yeah, it's a hard time. Depression's not something that you can easily just step out of and just be like, hey, you know what, whatever. Not everybody can do that. There are some people who can pull that off, but not everybody. So what you really got to do is focus on is you got to get out there, get out in the world, find a hobby. Like, for me, it was working on computers and looking at cars and that kind of stuff. But what I did is I went and hung out with my friend Barry, and I went and hung out with my best friend Wolf, and I did all this stuff that got me out of the house and hanging out with people who I was good friends with, because we'd hang out and we'd do stuff, and I eventually just quit thinking about it. So I mean, that took months and months and months. I waited way too long to get out there, and it's hard to do, but when just one morning, just get up, pay me on a weekend or something, or after school, just be like, hey man, you want to hang out with your friends for a while, and just keep doing that, and just stick to a routine, and eventually you're gonna come out of that depression, because you're gonna forget about stuff, and you gotta focus on school, and you gotta keep those grades up, because you cannot let depression get a hold of you, because what that does is it brings your grades down, which do affect you later on in life. It causes you to get into things that will just cause problems. So just get out there, talk to people, just do what you can to do things you like to do. Take your mind off what's bringing you down. And then stress is another thing I wanted to cover. Stress happens all the time. It's you can't prevent it. Whether it's a big test, or you got an interview coming up, or you're getting ready to move, or whatever it is. But pretty much the same thing applies. You just got to get out there and do stuff. You can't sit around and be like, oh man, I'm going to fail this test, or oh man, I'm going to miss all my friends. If you're going to move, to go out and hang out with those friends for the last time, you know, tell them your goodbyes, do all that stuff. Another thing you can do, or what I did, is I started working out, going to the gym and everything, and lifting weights, not running around the track, because nobody likes, I mean, some people like doing that, but what that does is it releases chemicals in your body and hormones that bring your mood up and give you full of energy and makes you want to do things, you know. So, but just the key to getting out of depression and stress is, I mean, they're a little different in their own way, but just keeping, the hard part is what causes these problems is you start thinking, and when you start thinking, you get really deep into it, and you start thinking, and then you start thinking of the negatives and all the bad things, and the bad things lead, and stress can cause depression too, because then you don't do well, and you get all depressed about it, and you're upset, and you're just not in a good place. So, but if you guys need any help, or you want someone to talk to, these tips, first of all, are gonna, if you follow what I'm telling you, they're really gonna help you out, and it's gonna change everything. So, but like I said, go ahead and inbox me for any problems or questions you got. But also, I want to know what your guys' opinion is on my new mic and everything, and I want to know what you think about this video, because I'm really trying to boost this channel up, you know. So, but thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and my new snowball mic, and I will talk to you guys later, and maybe even on Xbox.